Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, I don't play this guy's records because I have no clean versions of his
Because you're a sinner.
records.
That should mean you don't have no clean version of his music.
I think they're all clean versions.
All his records are clean.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lecrae.
What's happening? How y'all feeling?
I will honestly say you have been one of the most highly requested people that they have wanted to see on the Breakfast Club.
Wow.
Why they want you to mix with us sinners, I don't know.
Speak for yourself.
Well, he's a Christian rapper. Is that what they call a Christian rapper?
I'm a Christian and I'm a rapper.
Okay.
Right.
So, but he's not a Christian rapper. You're not in your...
I don't like boxes.
Okay.
True indeed.
Yeah.
All right, but you are the first hip hop artist to tap the gospel charts.
Yeah.
Which was a big deal.
It was. It was, yeah.
But it's not like all your topics are like religious topics because, we listen to your music and it's like real, regular, not like it's all you do is rap about Christianity at all.
My faith informs my music. So, the same way there'd be no civil rights movement without Martin Luther King, kind of leading his charge, but his faith informed his movement. You know what I mean? And so that's really just how I look at it. I appreciate everybody who has a voice. I appreciate, people who are speaking something into the culture. And, from the Killer Mikes to...
Love Killer Mike.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, to the KRSs and so on and so forth. I'm just another voice in the mix, but my faith informs what I'm saying.
What made you go that route as opposed to just being a traditional rap artist?
I think it wasn't intentional. I grew up in hip hop. I'm part of hip hop culture. I grew up in it all. But at 19, I had an encounter with Jesus, and everything just about me changed. So my content was changing as I was changing.
Right.
And it wasn't like I was like, yeah, I'm trying to be the best Christian rapper there ever will be. I'm Kirk Franklin. I'm coming for you. It was just I'm just talking about my life experiences now. And it wasn't it is what it is. I'm here.
So before that, were you in the hood? Like, what was you doing? You a bad child? What?
And, I was always the dude who was close to the people who was doing something they didn't have no business doing. But I was I'm just a product of, just being influenced by hip hop culture. I didn't grow up with my dad, so, Tupac, was a big influence in my life. You know what I mean? So it's just, you think masculinity is being like the dudes you see if you don't have somebody showing you what it means to be a man. And that's kind of the model that I followed.
Now, I watched one of your videos. Now, of course, you don't smoke.
Nah.
Do you drink?
I'm not opposed to drinking.
No, you're not opposed to
drinking. Wine.
Yeah.
Jesus did turn the water into wine.
That was his first miracle.
Yeah.
So you drink a little bit. Now, as far as clubs, do you perform in the club? Do you go out to the club? Because I seen you go out to the club. Do you go to gentlemen's clubs?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
But you do go out to the club. You do perform to the club.
Perform in the clubs, yeah. All that.
What do you stay away from as far as you personally, besides smoking and?
Whatever I feel like is detrimental to who I am as, and what I'm about. That's really it. I mean, everybody has their vices and everybody has their things that, they need to avoid for the sake of, their own conscious and spiritual growth. And, for me, I avoid those things. I mean, if it's wrong, I'm like, okay, I don't want to, I'm going to leave it alone.
Now, when you make appearances, at these clubs or when you do shows, do you have a set rate that you charge? You just tell promoters, give me 10% of what you earn.
What?
It's not
This
church,
dude is
man.
What is
asking
he
if I
talking
tithe
about?
at the club.
It's not church, man.
This dude is, listen, man. Nah, man. I'm, it's funny. I think it's a real, for me, and anybody who's not really like super informed on what I got going on, it's like, I think what I face is, it's in a weird way, like a discriminatory battle. You know what I mean? So it's like, almost like, I'm not saying it's likened to the civil rights movement, but it's discriminatory because the stigma that you have when you say, oh, I'm a Christian, people automatically have a presupposition of what you're about, what you're going to talk about,
Absolutely.
blah, blah, blah,
Think
blah,
you're
blah.
super righteous, think you're preachy.
All that. And it's like, and then if it's like, well, wait, he got a song with Big Crit. What are you doing? How does this work?
Yeah, I feel you.
And so, man, I'm being me. You know what I mean? I'm probably a lot more like everybody else than they imagine, but God changed me, and I'm being me.
Do you think that if you do something with people say is quote unquote ratchet, do you feel like, oh, he's not being real, he's not real? They expect you to be so super righteous?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to break down that stereotype though, because at the end of the day, like, it's Jesus you should follow, not Lecrae. Like, I'm not the standard. You know what I mean? Not to say that's an excuse for me to do whatever I want to do, but I'm not trying to be a picture of perfection. I'm trying to show people like, man, I'm in this because I'm not perfect, and I need somebody to change me, not because I'm the standard and everybody look at me. I got it going on.
Now, when you look at an artist like Mace,
Yeah.
right? And Mace was a pastor, you know, and he had a congregation, and he taught that congregation, and it was positive. Then he came back into rapping, and the rap that he's doing is not necessarily Christian rap.
Secular.
Yeah, it's very secular. So
It is very secular, yeah.
How do you feel about things of that nature?
I think, man, I'm about being consistent. I'm about, you know, I'm not an advocate, like, and that's for anybody. It's not just a Mace or whoever. It's about, you know, you don't want to create confusion. Like, where do you stand, or what side of the fence are you playing here? And just be consistent. You know, I think nobody, and that's really what I'm trying to do in a lot of ways, is show people like, listen, man, you can still hold on to your faith and your core values and beliefs and make music that is not necessarily explicitly, let's walk through Jonah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Without just being like contrary to what you believe, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me to make a street record doesn't mean I got to start misogynizing women
And
and
you gotta
shooting
shoot
people.
people, right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Shooting people is stupid, regardless. That's just dumb stuff to do. Where you from originally?
A little bit everywhere. Originally Houston, moved from Houston. I've lived everywhere, man. I'm in
Parents
Atlanta
military?
now. My grandfather's military. My mom just kind of, you know, lived with where family was at. So
Gotcha.
All right, you also said you have a book coming out too.
I plan on writing a book. Yeah.
So the book is going to be basically about your experiences, or
Yeah, I mean.
Don't call it something corny like the hip hop Bible.
No.
Okay.
that's already out.
Oh.
Nah, I'm you know, my album book probably be correlated. It's anomaly because I feel like I exist as an anomaly. Like, nobody knows what to do with me a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? It's like gospel's like, wait, no, what is going on? I don't get it. And hip hop is like, wait, isn't he, you know, so nobody really knows like what's happening with this dude. But, you know, yet and still, there's a lane that I'm running in, you know what I mean? And it's just, so it's an anomaly. So I'm just kind of like trying to help people understand like how I can run in the lane that I'm running in and still be authentically me without feeling like I have to be this or that, but I'm something different altogether. So
Were you surprised with the amount of love that you got? Because I mean, it's
It's your seventh album.
It's a seventh album. It's a big step.
number one on
when you
iTunes
first
right
did
now.
it.
It's crazy, man. Blow my mind. Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind. I'm like, I don't get it, but you know, I'm being honest. I don't get it. I'm just grateful to do music, man. Just trying to be authentic, trying to be myself, and
I think, you know what I do? I think, and this is sad to say, I think a lot more kids would do, I don't want to call you a Christian rapper,
know
but
what
a
you're
Christian
saying,
type rap. But, you know, a lot of kids look at the money. They want to get out the hood. So they look at what's making money. And they
Lecrae
don't know
making
that.
money?
I'm about to say that.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm setting up for. I'm like, he's making a lot of money. He's number one on the iTunes chart. His album is supposed to sell, 90,000 units in his first week, which is huge, which is way bigger than a lot of these artists that are out there that have smash singles. So, you know what I mean? So can you tell some of these kids out there the success that you have? Because I don't think they understand and I don't think they know. All they see is this guy drives a Benz, so I got to do this. I got to sell crack. I got to shoot guns, you know?
yeah, you can only be what you've seen. You know, you can only become what you've beheld. So I think a lot of it is, man, we haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I didn't see doctors in my community. I didn't see no lawyers. I didn't see, you know, I mean, I like, my mama told me about the civil rights era and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and she put Eldridge Cleaver's books in front of me and whatnot, but I didn't see that.
Right.
So for me, I saw Tupac, and Tupac embodied enough of her revolutionariness and enough of what I understood for me to say, okay, this is who I can be like. And so I think that's part of the problem too, is that they haven't seen it, and it's a lack of exposure. So thank y'all for exposing people.
And you went to school, you got your degree?
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
University of North Texas.
What'd you
Somebody
major
hit
in?
us and said you're a Kappa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What'd you major in?
Envy wanted to be
Joe-
a Kappa.
Joe
Envy wanted to be a
upstairs.
Kappa so bad.
Joe went
Pretty-
upstairs, was like,
pretty
he's a
boys,
Kappa,
huh?
he's a Kappa.
Hilarious.
What'd you major in?
I majored in electronic media, so you know I wanted to be involved in just media management, stuff like that.
I think the biggest thing that I've learned from you is, like you said, that, you know, when you had your come to Jesus moment,
Yeah.
you just started reflecting in your music, because that's what your life was like. And I always tell people, live your truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing people can learn from you, is if you just live your truth, then you'll end up walking in your purpose.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's what a lot of you know, folks struggle with, is identity and insecurity and just trying to be what they think everybody else needs them to be. And that's what this industry, I mean, just being 100, that's what the industry will do to you. It'll make you feel like, oh, I got to be just like him and do what they do, and you know what I mean? And so I get, texts and phone calls from artists all the time. You know, like, yo, man, what do I do about this, or this, or what do you think about this? And it's like they struggling like everybody else is struggling, but they don't want the rest of the world to know what's going on. So,
now you are a young man now, and you are a rapper at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you get groupies. Are you ever tempted to sin, sir?
I wouldn't be human if I wasn't tempted.
Okay,
man.
talk to me how you deal with how do you deal with that?
I think, man, it's really, I'm a new person. So it's kind of like, it's not as if, you know, you become a Christian and then all of a sudden now you're perfect and you don't sin anymore. But it is a sense of like, I have a new desires. I have new hungers. I have like a new passion, you know what I mean? And it's more out of gratitude. It's not out of like, man, I got to be perfect now because for God, it's more just like, man, I'm so thankful for what you've done for me. Like, let me fight to be who you're trying to make me into. And it's more of an incentive to stay away from stuff. You know what I mean? I got a lot to lose by just making a dumb decision.
So when girls come on to you, do you sit down and give them a word?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't sit down and give them no word or nothing like that.
I read, that's what Minister Farrakhan used to always say. He said, like, when a girl is being lustful and she comes at you, you tell her why she shouldn't be moving.
Well, I definitely will say, like, you know, I believe in respecting women. I have a wonderful mother, wonderful sisters, and I think we misogynize our women. We hate our women in our music a lot of times, and we treat them as if they're just pieces of meat. And
like houses for our penis. That's what the pastor in Seattle called them.
Hey, man. I mean, we reduce them to just, you know, objects. And I think that I want to make sure that these young women know, like, listen, like, be a Ferrari. I know where to get a Ferrari. I don't watch Ferrari commercials on TV. I see Honda commercials, and no shade to Honda, but I'm just saying, expensive cars, people know where to find them. Cheap ones advertise. You don't have to advertise. You know what I mean? Like, you're valuable. You're worth something. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to
He's
advertise.
gonna write that down.
Hey, man, I'm out the game, but I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down just because.
Don't try to flip it on them, Sean, man. And definitely try to
He's
get
gonna
them
use your
draws.
line.
Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, girl? You a Ferrari.
Now you did a song, Good, Bad, and Ugly. How hard was that for you to put your life issues out there like that?
Yeah, not hard for me because I think hurt people, heal people, and I'm healed from those experiences. You know, abortion and you know, being, you know, molested, and you know what I'm saying, like, those are experiences that I'm healed from. So I can talk about it because it's not an embarrassing thing for me. And there's a lot of people who are embarrassed by that or shamed by that. And man, like, man, I'm forgiven. I can move forward and not hold it as some kind of skeleton in my closet, and it's liberating. And I think there's a lot of people who need to be liberated from, like, the guilt or the shame that they may feel from some of those experiences.
Yeah, I saw that headline on Christian Post where it says on Anomaly you address molestation and abortion. I was wondering, was those personal experiences for you?
Yeah, straight up.
Who
He
molested
said
you?
his babysitter.
Yeah, I had a female babysitter, and you know.
Don't you say it, Charlamagne.
Same thing happened to me.
See, I knew he was going to say that, but there's a difference.
He
Gotta
says
tell
he
him. I
liked
gotta
it.
tell him.
I'm gonna tell you, when I was 8 years old, it was my cousin's ex-wife.
Yeah.
She used to molest me. She used to tell me if you tell anybody, I'm not gonna do it no more. So I was like, well, I guess I like it. I never said anything, and I didn't realize it was a problem until I saw Tyler Perry on Oprah complaining about it. And I was like, wait a minute, what's wrong with me that I didn't?
And why did you tell her to stop?
Cause she got a Jerry curl. When she got a Jerry curl, I didn't like the smell of it anymore.
Dude.
No, that's serious. I was 8 years old, man.
You didn't know no better, man. It's all good.
Do you know that? I don't even see her now, though. Do you still see? You saw the woman that did it to you?
Yeah, I wouldn't even. To me, it's like, man, I forgive her. It's all good. I don't even hold it. It ain't nothing to me. Like, it's like, man, we all make terrible choices, and you know what I'm saying. It's like, man, I move forward. So it's all love. And I mean, not to say it's not to say it's okay, and not to say I'm not like, oh, don't worry about it, no big deal, because it did have a profound effect on me. You know what I'm saying? I think it definitely opened me up to, like, a whole nother world. Right. You know,
me too. I did a lot of victim blaming.
Yeah.
Because I was the victim. I was like, man, I'm so handsome at 8 that, this girl couldn't resist me. I'm serious. Dead ass.
All
man.
right.
Okay.
I also read that you said your eternal family could care less about your earthly family in reference to the Ferguson situation. What explain that a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really capsulize everything about Ferguson in like social media and stuff, because it's just so many sound bites that I feel like everybody wants you to choose a side. Like, either you are, either you believe that, Mike Brown is, the most saint in existence and there's no wrong, and you advocate looting and rioting, or you believe that all white people are the devil and you know what I'm saying, and the police, you know, the whole ecosystem sucks. And so it's like, you know, nobody has a middle ground. And my whole situation was just like, you know, for people who don't come from my community, don't come from the urban context, but, you know, yeah, we both may share the same common faith, but you don't know the experience that I have as a black man in America. I need you to pause and empathize. You know what I'm saying? I need you to stop and think about it, because you're supposed to love me like a brother, then like step into who I am and try to understand who I am as a person before you just say, Lecrae, how can you side with this? Or how can you da-da-da-da-da-da? Because it's not that I advocate looting or rioting. It's not that I advocate any of that stuff. It's that, man, I wake up every day as a black man in America, and I have these experiences. And, you know, it's different from yours. Even though we may love the same Jesus, our experiences are totally different.
I'm a black man in America, and I'm very aware of that, but I also know that I'm a spiritual being living a human existence.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's nothing or anybody that can stop what God has preordained for me.
That's good. I mean,
Now, when you go on the road, with so many different artists. I
Yeah.
mean, from Wu-Tang to different artists. How is performing in front of those artists? Because, I mean, the crowds can't be the same at times.
No.
So is it difficult? Do you get a lot of booing? Or how was your
it's a
performance when you
mix.
do it?
I think most
They
times.
boo you knowing that you're a Christian rapper? Boy, they going to hell.
Nah, man. I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix of like of people who mostly curiosity, like mostly like, you know, and then a lot of times it turns into like, dang, like, dude, okay. You know what I mean? Like, you, okay. Like, dude can spit. Like, dude is a rapper, you know? And then my fans are like family. Like, they just show up and they are so supportive and just come out in droves. And, you know, and I remember being at Rock the Bells, and a dude came up to me. He was blazed out his mind. He was gone. He was like, he saw me standing there watching Wu-Tang set, and he was like, I never expected you to be here, bro. Like, dang. Like, he's like, just seeing you here is confirmation on a lot of stuff that God has been talking to me about, man. And we sat there, we talked about it, and so it was all good.
Do you get that a lot? A lot of people come and just want to talk to you about life.
Yeah.
And you just, you know, because I mean, you're a busy guy, so do you stop every time and be like, I'm just going to have this conversation because this could change somebody's life?
It just depends. I mean, yeah, as much as I can, you know, as
Not if you have a flight to catch and you're in the airport.
I mean, not to where it's like.
Because it could be a bad, you know, like the guy could be on his last leg, see me, be like, I got to have this conversation. Be like, well, I got a flight, homie. I'll catch you on the next time.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something like super detrimental like that, you know what I'm saying, I'll sit down and you know, make amends. And if I really can't do it, then I'll be like, man, here's an email address or something. Like, let's continue building, let's continue chopping it. But that's my thing. Like, I've always gravitated toward the artist who really has something to say. Right. And I was always a philosophical dude searching. I always loved Common. I always loved, you know, Dead Prez. I was always like, man, you know, as much as the gangsterism was going on around me, I still liked people who had some thought. My mother was a civil rights activist. She was a Black Panther supporter. So it's kind of like,
I was going to ask you, do you get inspiration from secular artists? But you just answered that.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like I always felt a sense of like wanting to be around that type of stuff. So I like being a voice. I like having a seat at the table. I don't like being regulated to just like the Christian box, because I think I have a lot to say about a lot of things. And if you just say, oh, well, we'll bring him in when we want a church service, well, you just, you know, now you've eliminated my perspective on a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with salvation. You know what I'm saying?
But now with saying that, how many artists do you reach out to that be like, nah, I can't do it with you, bro? None, really?
Nah.
Every artist you reached out to?
Yeah, everybody's been, it's love. You know what I'm saying? I think because at the end of the day, like, everybody is like, man, wrestling with a sense of purpose or identity or like, man, what am I here for? And so I think they just respect the authenticity. You know what I mean? Like, me and Tech Nine, you know, I've had lots of deep conversations in his crew, because at the end of the day, it's like they have a lot going on. Like, they're communicating a lot of just genuine, raw emotion and thought and authenticity. And we just connect on, like, let's just be real. Let's take off all the fake stuff. Like, you know, everybody ain't popping bottles every night. Everybody ain't just, like, your whole life ain't spending bands on Gucci shoes, bro. Like, you got a real life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody in jail, somebody died. You got to take care of your kids. Like, let's talk about life.
See, that's an interesting collaboration, you and Tech Nine, because Tech Nine, for years, people thought he was a devil worshiper.
Right.
Just by the way he looked. You ever did a show with him?
Costume. He has a great show.
Yeah. I've gone out.
So it was your fans and your gospel Christian fans and his devil worshiping fans.
Yeah, a lot of my fans are like me though. They hip hop fans. They just love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they love hip hop, and a lot of my fans are like, yo, you gotta do a song with J. Cole. But they love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And so they're not like, whoa, this is weirding me out, as much as they're just like, you know, man, we would love to see what, you know, is there any kind of fruit or any kind of help or something that you can do within hip hop culture. You know, that's what they hoping for.
Well, you're 7 albums in. You're very successful. Why is it that you think mainstream radio isn't picking up certain songs? Like All I Need Is You seems like it could be a mainstream radio song. Is that something that bothers you?
If all I need was you was about them hoes and not Jesus.
It actually is about my lady. So
But you thought it was about Jesus?
Yeah.
No, it's about. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
stereotyping again.
It is about women.
Stigmatized once again. Civil rights era. Nah. It don't really. I mean, it used to bother me, but you know, at the end of the day, I mean, similar to what Charlamagne say, you know, God, I believe God has ordained everything, and He's got a plan for it all. So I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna play my part, play my role, and you know, I'm not itching to be famous. I like being able to walk down the street without being super recognized, but still be impactful. You know what I mean? So it don't bother me for real.
I want to ask you something. Like, I remember years ago, I was watching the Source Awards. My mom walked in the room, and Trick Daddy had won an award. The first thing he did was thank God. And my mom's your whole witness. She was like, he really thank God blessing him? What do you feel about rappers who, and I mean, when I listen to Trick, I think he has a message in his music, but what do you think about rappers who are, I guess, hardcore, hood, and rap about drug dealing, thanking God?
Before you answer that, 3 years ago, you still living with your mama?
I didn't say 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Just for clarification's sake.
I said the Source Awards.
I don't think Trick Daddy was at the Source Awards.
Okay. He said a couple years ago. I was making sure.
Yeah, nah. I mean, obviously, you know, I think a lot of people have a misconception about God or truth, and a lot of people aren't given clarity on that. So I can't sit here and say, man, you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't really know God, or none of that type of stuff. I think that's a judgmental kind of Pharisee, like, I'm self-righteous, I'm better than you attitude that we can have a lot of times, looking down our nose at people. Because at the end of the day, I believe the only difference between me and anybody else is the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like I changed myself and I got myself right. It's like God is changing me, you know, by His grace. So, you know, if I see something, I'm like, nah, I don't really think that's legit. More than anything, I'm probably like, man, I would love to be able to talk with him about that, or I would love for him to explore that a little bit more, to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when like if we say, you know, pride comes before the fall, and God opposes the proud, and we the most prideful person ever, and we like, yeah, God did this. You know, it's like, well, maybe He didn't. You know what I'm saying? But
the devil got a kingdom too.
Yeah,
Kingdom too.
Yeah. So, you know, but at the same time, it's like, man, who's unpacking that for him, and who's sitting down having these conversations?
True indeed.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, and Pick Up the Album is in stores right now.
What does Lecrae mean?
It's just my name.
It's your real name?
My mama ghetto, she took like some forks and knives, threw them in the drawer. And I said, Lecrae! That's when I'm just, hey man.
Well, it's Lecrae. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.